The day has finally come. If you're watching this, you are either playing Red Dead Redemption 2 or it is just hours away. Hopefully you've kept up with my videos over the last 30 days and you are sufficiently hyped for the big launch. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Today, we're going to take a look back on the last 29 days and break down the most important, essential information for anyone getting started with Red Dead Redemption 2. Let's not waste any more time and get right into the many systems we'll find in the game. The camp dynamic in Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably the central feature of the game. It's a gimmick that really makes it stand out from any other open world game that has come before it, including Rockstar's own. By hitting the L2 or LT button, also known as the focus button, you can speak or interact with everyone and everything in the camp. You'll be able to start and strengthen relationships with people of your choice, and perhaps more importantly, upgrade your campsite to unlock certain features such as fast travel. Dutch's gang is the central focus of the game's story, and they are the guys and gals you'll be interacting with the most at the camp. You can bond with them around a campfire and sing songs as we saw in the gameplay trailer, or play games like cards and dominoes. But if you hang out at the camp long enough, chances are you'll eventually trigger a mission or activity that involves a fellow gang member. It looks like just about anything Arthur can do on his own, he can also do with a gang member. Of course, you'll probably be spending the most time with your gang clearing out the various main story missions in the game. Although you aren't actually swapping between characters like you did in GTA 5, you will actually still have a very close connection with fellow gang members when it comes to gameplay. You can focus on one of them and then actually give them a command. You could tell your gang members to attack a mission using stealth, or go all out guns blazing to conquer whatever task is in front of you. Besides your gang, your best friend in Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be your horse. You're going to be spending a ton of time on horseback, so creating a strong bond with your horse is encouraged and extremely important if you want to get through the game much easier. The following 4 actions increase your bond with a horse: feeding, grooming, petting, and riding. As you get closer to maxing out your bond, you'll unlock a huge number of new abilities and skills for your horse. After reaching a certain level, your horse will learn advanced movement options like the sudden skid turn, which is basically stopping really fast, turning around, and bolting in the opposite direction, or the sidestep. Another thing to be mindful of is the fact that you could actually lose your horse if you are separated by too great of a distance. However, if you strengthen your bond, the distance of Arthur's whistle will increase, which means losing your horse will be a lot less likely. Possibly the biggest reward for leveling up your bond comes while engaging in the game's combat. If you ride into a firefight with a low bond, your horse will panic and throw you violently from their back. Leveling up your bond will make your horse a stone-cold killer who is not afraid of bullets. This is going to be key because in this game, if your horse dies, it's gone forever, along with its bond level. You could buy a special tonic that revives a fatally wounded horse, but you probably don't want to get into that kind of situation if you could help it. The honor system in Red Dead Redemption 2 has the potential to completely transform any given playthrough of the game. Although it will not have an impact on the main story missions or cutscenes, it sounds like basically every other interaction with NPCs in the game are affected by the honor system in one way or another. Simply put, the honor system is a morality system. It basically tracks whether you're a good guy or a bad guy. It's your choice. Kill people and be a bad guy, or pet the puppies and be a good guy. Press that focus button near someone, and you're given a number of options on how to proceed depending on the situation. The default selections for a regular conversation seem to be greet, antagonize, or aim weapon. Once you pull out your gun on someone, the options change once again to threaten, dismiss, or beat. You can interact like this with literally every NPC in the game. Depending on how you interact with these people, you will either lose honor or gain honor. No matter what side you choose, good or bad, each have their advantages and disadvantages. If you choose the less honorable route, you may have a bounty placed on your head. The sheriff in town might recognize you and begin stirring things up, or straight up bounty hunters will appear and try to kill you, as we saw in gameplay trailer number 2. However, being a bad boy has its advantages as well. The biggest one being that you can earn more money from performing robberies or assassinations. Speaking of making money in the game, you're going to need a ton of it if you want to get everything out of Red Dead Redemption 2. And the main way you're going to get money, legally that is through hunting animals. The diverse habitats and climates of Red Dead Redemption 2 are home to an enormous 200 species of animals, birds, and fish, all of which behave and respond to their environment in a unique way. So, if you want to make some money, you're going to have to go out there into the wilderness, hunt some of these animals, and sell the remains at a local butcher. You can either take it alone, or ask one of your fellow gang members from the camp to come along with you. Of course, you're going to need a weapon. Any weapon you choose will inflict damage or kill an animal, but it would be in your best interest to hunt in this game with the bow and arrow, as keeping the corpse of an animal in the best condition will net you more money, and that is best accomplished through effective use of the bow and arrow. Since there are over 200 different animals in the game, and the draw distance in the game purposely reaches super far, you are going to be stumbling upon them pretty frequently during your playthrough. Arthur has some other tricks up his sleeve when it comes to hunting. Besides using a bow and arrow, Arthur's Eagle Eye ability will help you track down and successfully hunt your prey. It's turned on by clicking both sticks, and basically a little ghostly trail appears that helps you follow your prey. Once successful, you can load the full body of the animal onto your horse and deliver it to the nearby town butcher. Alternatively, you can skin the animal and sell the valuable remains. There is also a research journal in the game incentivizing players to track down all 200 plus species for some kind of prize. Of course, instead of selling the animal, you can cook it yourself and eat it. But if you eat too much, Arthur will actually gain weight and potentially become fat. This cosmetic change segues nicely into a discussion on the character customization options in Red Dead Redemption 2. And trust me, there is a lot of customization in this game. Arthur has a ton of different clothing options. Some are needed to survive harsh weather, but most of them just look cool and the player can express themselves however they want. The potential character customization, however, is not just cosmetic. Red Dead 2 will have by far the largest emphasis on RPG-like elements that level up your character in the history of Rockstar's open world games. Arthur himself has 3 main skills that you have to worry about: health, stamina, and Deadeye. He also has 4 secondary stats: strength, dexterity, instinct, and grit. The Deadeye stat is the one we know about the most, and may be the most important stat in the game when it's all said and done. While the player's Deadeye level in the first Red Dead Redemption was tied to completing certain story missions, that does not seem to be the case here in Red Dead Redemption 2. You'll be able to level it up at your own leisure. There are also 5 levels of Deadeye in the game, as opposed to 3 in the first Red Dead. Level 1 Deadeye only slows down time. Level 2 automatically places the red X aim points on the enemies by just moving your aiming reticle over the target's body. When you press the fire button, all the marked locations will be shot, resulting in a pretty badass move. Level 3 allows you to manually place aim points on the enemies if you press the R1 or RB button while aiming your gun. The advantage of having manual aim as opposed to automatic aim from level 2 comes from the added precision you now have. You could choose who to aim at and the body part without having to accidentally worry about marking an unimportant target and wasting ammo. Level 4 Deadeye is new to this game and gives Arthur a quasi-X-ray mode that marks vital points on your target. This visual cue is extremely useful for assuring one-hit kills and therefore clearing out massive waves of enemies with ease. It's also super gonna come in handy for hunting animals quickly and efficiently without making a big mess. Now the big mystery is level 5 Deadeye. As of the making of this video, Rockstar hasn't said anything about this fully maxed out Deadeye ability. I guess we'll know in a couple of hours. Deadeye, and really just leveling up your character overall, is so important in Red Dead Redemption 2 because of the new combat system. It is unlike any other Rockstar game that has come before it, and has introduced some fairly difficult mechanics that force you to think hard before shooting. In Red Dead Redemption 2, you can only hold 2 sidearms and 2 large weapons at a time. Due to this much smaller inventory than in previous Rockstar games, I suggest picking a favorite gun, getting real good at using it, and sticking with it, because it ain't gonna be easy to just swap out for another one. Before a bullet is even fired, the new Red Dead Redemption 2 combat system may throw you off guard. First of all, some guns require you to raise the hammer of the gun before firing off a shot. Basically what this means is you have to hit the fire button to raise the hammer, and then hit it again to actually fire a shot. They are slower than you might be used to, and it's easy to panic and get overwhelmed during a firefight as a result. The reload animations in the game are extremely realistic and extremely deliberate. As a result, you'll want to get the job done using as few shots as possible, so you have to wait through that reloading animation as few times as possible. Though I have heard rumors there's a trick to get around this. The game's customization options shine again when it comes to the weapons. The gunsmith in this game is going to be your best friend if you want to use all of your weapons effectively. Not only can he repair your damaged weapons, but he could also upgrade them. There are 6 main stats for each weapon that you need to worry about in Red Dead Redemption 2. Damage, range, fire rate, reload, accuracy, and condition. Each of these stats start at 0 and can be upgraded all the way up to 4. You could buy certain gear upgrades that will affect your weapon stats. One of the holster upgrades, for example, slows down degradation of all weapons by 20%. You can even buy gun oil, which is an item that can instantly fix your beat up weapons and restore them to perfect condition. I recommend having a bunch of these on you at all times. It does not end there though. For further personalization of your weapons, you could purchase special ammo, holsters, barrels, scopes, grips, and hammers for each gun. Once equipped, your weapon will be modified separately from the 0 to 4 scale that I mentioned earlier. So for instance, if you have level 4 damage already, but buy special ammo that increases damage by 50%, it doesn't hit any ceiling. You will be exceeding the maximum at that point. All of these many gameplay systems are complemented by one of the most visually stunning games of all time. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the result of one of the most talented game developers in the world having virtually unlimited time and unlimited funds to make the best looking game possible. It is the ultimate realization of that romanticized Wild West setting. It's pure escapism, and I think Rockstar's impeccable art direction is to thank for that feeling. With Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar looks to not only realize the traditional Wild West setting, but also expand it in a variety of different ways. The location diversity on display here cannot be understated, and the use of different weather effects to enhance it all results in an absolutely sublime presentation. Besides the sweeping vistas and traditional sandy, muddy trails that are a staple of the Western genre, we've seen lush green forests, orange autumn fields, the rich prairies of New Hanover, and the snowy mountains. You have these absolutely striking swamps and bayous that use blacks in really unique ways. The bright moonlight reflects off the water and is just able to sneak past the dense clutters of trees in the environment. I love it. One of the most striking elements of the game's visuals has to be the various different weather effects that we've seen so far. Combined with the time of day element, we could be looking at some absolutely breathtaking scenes in the game. The most striking for me is some of the dark gray, almost black rain clouds that pop up in the game. Some of these shots we've seen in the game really capture that feeling of looming danger extremely well. Better than I've ever seen in any other game before. I also want to call attention to the starry night sky. Rockstar has clarified that the game takes place before pollution became a huge issue, so looking up at the night sky will not only show us stars, it looks like we could see the whole solar system or faraway galaxies or something. It's legitimately stunning, and I think this might be my favorite visual I've seen of the game so far. This is sublime. All of these elements will come together to create a game that promises to be one of the best looking and best playing of all time. Reviews are out, and they have been extremely positive. The game is getting that game of the generation buzz that Rockstar open world games usually get, proving that the studio is still able to meet their own lofty expectations to this day. I guess there's only one thing left for us to do now: play the game. The pre-launch 30-day Red Dead Daily video series officially comes to an end, and I hope you all enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. But now, the post-launch era begins, So please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel, because as you've come to expect, I'll be back tomorrow with another daily Red Dead Redemption 2 video, except it'll feature my footage, because I'll actually be playing the game. Holy crap, that feels surreal to say. Red Dead Redemption 2 is here. Get hype. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Enjoy the game, and take care.